Disclaimer: the information and education material contained herein is meant to promote the general understanding and dialogue of GAN's processing. Such information is not meant or intended to serve as a substitute for a healthcare professional's clinical training, experience, or judgment. For patients and individuals, such information is not to be a substitute for professional medical, therapeutic, or healthcare advice or counseling. For medical issues or concerns, including decisions about medications and other treatments, readers, viewers, listeners should always consult their physician or, in serious cases, seek immediate assistance from emergency personnel. Prescription information, procedures, and use of medical devices information should be undertaken only by properly trained and certified medical personnel. We specifically disclaim any warranties, express or implied, including implied warranties of merchantability or fitness for a particular purpose. Such information is provided, as is, and is believed to be accurate at the time of its publishing, but it is the viewer's job to evaluate the accuracy of any information found in this presentation. Every case presented is of their own experience, applied by themselves for themselves, and it applies to their case only. Every person experiencing health problems should seek professional medical advice and consult their course of treatment with a doctor. The processes of plasma balancing described herein are a natural process which supports the body but does not replace medical advice or therapies one is already subject to.
It's time for change to move into the real work of the universe. And it's time to understand that we use the matter state to reach the level of understanding of the soul of the man. Now you understand maybe why the Creator has sent His messengers in the name of whatever you have had. Is that they bring the ears, that it can be used when the time of the Messiah comes. They can teach the soul and the message, not to oppose, but by them understanding through those who have become messiahs to give from their souls to these to elevate, the job is made easy. The school is there and the students are devotedly there. Then there won't be any fight between what they call the Muslims and the Christians. The lamb and the lion will eat and sleep in the same nest. The Christians and the Muslims will sleep and pray in the mosque and in the same church in the name of their souls, not in the name of religion that is used to create so much conflict for the benefit of those who were the hyperactive children. The time has come, the time of change is here. And as I said, my wish is my command. If it's your wish to see peace, the path of peace is laid very clearly. It's the soul of the collective awareness by giving will create that position of change. No other thing. There is no pen in the soul of the man. And I'm sure once you go into the universal community, you will never see anything written but the balance of the fields of the soul of the existence. Try to be humble enough not to become arrogant in the power that you have understood and you possess. Otherwise, you'll fall in the same path of the church and the mosque. This is what we promised, and this is what we have delivered. We have to understand the operation of the soul, and we have to understand the soul of the man is a star in the cosmos of the universe. If we compare the soul of the man and many of us, 7 billion in one collection, Earth is like a galaxy with so many stars. When we look in the depth of the universe, we see galaxies with hundreds of millions of stars in it. So is the planet Earth. It carries 7 billion beautiful stars, which are the soul of the man. Carries with it soul of so many trillions of animals, plants, and everything else. So if you look, when someone who does not see the physicality of the earth and its content, what do they see? They see a galaxy with so many beautiful lights shining, each one according to their strength, each one according to their position. An infant has a beautiful soul, so has the old man. To those who do not see the physical dimension of this planet, but they see the strength of the field, we are clusters of stars. The human race, every single soul, no one from a distance sees that's the soul of a fisherman, that's the soul of the cosmologist, that's the soul of a president. They all shine irrespective of the physicality. This is the magic. This is what the new science has to bring to man. When we look to our soul, we see nothing but a star in the other souls. And this is the break. This is the understanding. This is what all these teachings are about. Coming to mature to the next level, to understand in the deep space, the universe is the oyster for those souls who serve. Then man is ready to go into space. Then man is ready to become part of the universal community which has been promised. I never promised you heaven. I always promised you the elevation of the man to join the family. And now you have the key. It's you who has to open the door to understand, if I can raise the soul of these people or millions of other souls, that the physical life on this planet changes, then I'm worthy to be part of the universal community. To be there to serve, to expand. To be there to be part, that in the cycle of life of universe, I become, in being part, I become part of the totality. When man reaches that point, a new dimension in the strength of the soul of the man will appear, which is beyond imagination of understanding of the physical life. It's the gate to the opening of the new life, in a new dimension, which is beyond imagination of what you might call a new beginning, a new cycle, which that cycle carries with itself the origin of the creation of life in the universe and in the universe. It's the elevation of the soul to serve become the key, not a throne of the physical life. The time is right. The time has come for the man to go through this process.
Hello and welcome everyone. Welcome to the 222nd One Nation, One Planet, One Race for World Peace and Justice here on Tuesday, May 17th, 2022. This is a broadcast of the Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute Education Department and part of the Public Teachings in English. My name is Rick Crammond and I'll be host today. Once again in these weekly series of workshops. And once again, I'm joined with Mark as a co-host as well. Thank you, Mark. I think we're ready to begin today's show, so let's get that underway.
Thank you, my dear Rick. Thank you so much. Welcome, Suswagatam, my dear beautiful souls, to the beautiful energy of one planet, one nation, one race for justice and world peace, and to the beautiful energy of Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute, to the beautiful energies of the truth seekers and knowledge seekers of Keshe Foundation, to the beautiful energies of all that is love, to the beautiful energies of universal souls. And I will say, welcome, my dear ones, to the culture of love, to the culture of peace, in the universal unified field of the universal creator, the civilization universal. So welcome, my dear ones, welcome. And I will read these beautiful words for you as everything begins from within you, within me, within all that is, everywhere, anywhere. So through the beauty of the soul of diversity of the languages spoken on planet Earth, all souls are as equal and all are as creators as they are created in the image of the Creator. That is the beauty of totality. Salam, namaste, salute, my dear ones. Rick, can we go to the next slide? Here, I welcome my dear Azar. Can you read your beautiful soul writing? It will be beautiful.
Good morning, and good morning,
thank
everyone.
you.
Good morning, Rick, and good morning, Shweta. Shweta, you can read it. It's no problem. I'm here, but you can read it. It's no issue.
No, you read. You will read it beautifully.
Okay, because on my cell phone, you see how my eyes work. Hold on a second. Let me get my glasses.
Okay.
Okay. This is something I wrote a few days ago. What was going on at that moment? To all knowledge seekers. Mr. Keshe is teaching us the knowledge of creation, which is the alphabet, just like flour, water, sugar, or vanilla. How many millions people all around the world created breads, cakes, and name it. So we should not be afraid to share what we want. If you are hesitant to share, it is only you that take away your freedom. You're responsible for it. Mr. Keshe is telling you, you are God walking on this planet. Take it, be it, use your gift. No one will stop us from sharing. If we cannot create a family of one nation here, how do we expect create a nation out of this planet? I think we have to go to the next page, Rick. We are the one who is leading this journey. We take their steps as gods. All of us until now did not know. Now, since we are learning, we are cleaning up ourselves of all those self-doubt. Each of us try to be good, do good, talk good, think good. This is a place we show our progress. We shouldn't be afraid to say what we want to say. If you exist, there is a reason you exist. Why are you here? There is only one of you created. There is no two. So you have something that no one else has. Why are you here? There is only one of you created. There is no two. This one is repeated here. I don't know who wrote it to repeat the same thing twice. Can we go to the next page? So we have something that no one else has. What you have, we all need that. We all complete each other just like a big puzzle. The moment you don't like someone, it means you are missing the part you hate. That person you don't like has something to teach you. So at the end, it is only one creation, one body, one God, and you are it. When you get so much close to God, your tears flow because you feel your good godness. You feel everyone as part of you. Take the gift of being God and share. The only time you know you are alive is when you are joyful and blissful, because God is bliss and joy and love, nothing else. Thank you. Thank you, Shabata.
Thank you, my dear Azar. It's a beautiful piece. Very, very beautiful. And I will say that everything begins, as I said, from you. If you are not there, maybe I was also not there. If you are there, I am also here. Like that, we react with each other in a way that we always have the presence of each other. This is the way we are independent, we are free. As you know, as Azar says, that is when when a mother, as a mother, I will say, when my kids are small at that time, I used to manage the whole thing, the sharing. You do this, you do that, and I will do that. And the housekeeping is going on properly. And then at the end of the day, I felt the freedom. Oh, all the work has done properly. Everybody has got his share, his or her part of share. And I have also got that. At the love I in back with the feedback, So these are the moments when we share and we feel the love in this physicality for a long, long time. We have felt this many, many times. That's coming. That's it. Like that, We don't have to be like that. That is it. And this is the love. This is the culture of love. Thank you, Azar, for this beautiful message. Thank you. Rick, can we go to the next slide? Oh, this image was made by me when I joined our lovely Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute, and when we were making the waters, the beautiful waters, I was so much mesmerized that I just doing things, one by one by, because before that I cannot even imagine that I can do these type of things. This type of this is so much scientific. This is so much soulful. This is so much spiritual, as I was always. So I felt the connection, and I draw this image about the beauty and totality of the cup of life. At that time, the cup of life was not presented, but I made this because, and I named this Keshe Foundation Keshe cup of elixir. Elixir is in India, we say Amrita. Amrita means the water of life, eternal life. No? So I named this water the eternal life, and you can feel that well, you can say, if, as Azar said, we are the gods as we are with love. This goddess is seeing the water, mesmerizing with the water's beauty, and there's a there's a angel kind of person, and she is in the realm of the new civilization, and there's other creatures, all beings of the cosmos, including us, are dancing. There is a flute. There's everything we need as a being of love. So I drawn this image, and then we all made the cup of life. That is so beautiful. That was out of comprehension that we made this, and still in the form of uh, mesmerization. I see sometimes that this we have done this, and this is for the benefit of all, and we have seen the benefits coming from all beings, as we have given it with we have given it in humbleness to others. So this is what I wanted to share, my dear ones. And this is the way this elixir works. The one cup, one life. We can give it a drop to anyone, anywhere, even in the cosmos. So, Rick, can we go to the next slide? Here, I will say that there is this cup was made by me when my Messiah Shriman Henriquez released the cup of life, one cup, one life. I made this, and I just felt from inside the extreme love coming out, and I started to decorate it with flowers, with with the shell. You know, the shell defines the life, how the plasma works, in a way that it works. It works in a way you want or you don't want. Like this, you can see the shell, and maybe there was a pearl inside, and this beautiful water we created, and the color white. Sometimes it seems like it is color aqua, like aqua green. And then the even before drinking the water, that was an experience that everything is like I am becoming this kind of that feeling came from inside. And then ultimately we got that peacefulness after creating this cup. We understood that how can we create the balance from inside if we are creating this cup of life. So that was a trigger point of peacefulness ultimately to all humanity, and to all those who make this, to all those who have this intention to work, to share. As in the other image, I have drawn the soul of us in the services to others or to all. That is, it is the way we do. And if I say there is this technology, the technology is, or the mechanism is universal, and that is us, and that is all of us. It starts from you, from within you, your point of view, your susceptibility, your understanding, level of understanding of how love is, how light is. So that is the mechanism ultimately in the universal unified field. That is the mechanism. You are the mechanism. You are the Magrav. You are the creator of souls. You are the souls, like that. We are all that is. That is the way. When here in India, there's an ancient script, I will say, that, well, we say gods as we understand how God works. Well, the gods and goddesses, when they depart from this earth, they always remember earth as a beautiful place, and they want to come again to experience this tangible beauty, you know, to touch it, to touch each other. So this feeling of touchiness is arised among all of us from within the soul, you know, and then the soul again starts untangibly understood in the process of touchiness, and in the process of that love we feel for each other tangibly. Then we go again to the intangible way to become a manifestation tangible somewhere, somehow again. So get your vanity bags, I will say. Energy, essence of energy. Women take vanity bags, you know. They it is a process. When we travel, where we are going to travel to the moon, we are all going to travel in the space, in the cosmos, and the vanity bag will be us, with us, like the essence of love that we carry in the touchiness. From this tangibility, we carry this love, and we carry this vanity bag to the other side of love and light. So, and we are here to serve, not to be served. So this is the image I made for, like, in in the Eden we are now. We can feel the Eden. Even the chaos is there still. Many are not, but we are enhancing, we are elevating, we are together sharing, elevating. And because of this, many are really getting relieved, many are free, many got this freedom out of, here we in India we say moksha. We elevated their soul so that they can even out of the body, they felt this freedom. And in the body, they are feeling this freedom. So both the ways it is working. Somebody wants or they don't want, but this is universal and the universal energy is working. So, and the services is going on in the elevation of all souls, my dear one. So this is the light of an enlightenment, I will say, because this is the science of the soul, of the spirit. And that is the whole, is the beauty and totality. We are in with the universal connection. Now we can understand we are always guided by them to be here. And now we can see them ultimately. The bridge we have crossing we are all crossing the bridge in a way, in the level of understanding. And thank you for listening, my dear ones. Much, much love, all the love always. Thank you. Thank you so much. Salam, namaste, salam. And there is the next slide, my dear Rick. Yes, this is the 5 minutes of silence for the elevation of souls, as we are doing it continuously and continuously elevating. And we are doing the services for freedom of souls to be free, to understand the freedom. So in peace, of course. For the elevation of the souls of the 5+1 peace negotiators, the soul of the IAEA, all souls working for peace in Vienna, the soul of humanity, the souls of world leaders and religious leaders of planet Earth. So, in the level of understanding, we go for in the silence of 5 minutes in the elevation of all souls in all love. Thank you so much, and the silence begins now. Thank you. Thank you, my dear ones. Thank you for being here with all the love, with all the responsibilities for all. And salam, namaste, salute. Suswagatam, welcome. Rick, can we go to the next slide? Here, Stefania, are you here? This is One City, One Center. And is Stefania here?
No, I don't see Stefania.
Okay. Then we can, I can say, anybody wants to say something about One City, One Center? Hello, can anybody say, can anybody?
Yeah, I can probably talk about the stuff I was thinking about.
Thank you, my dear Moshfik. Thank you.
So I think we are on the wrong slide, aren't we?
The slide will be One City, One Center. Yeah.
Yes. Anyway, this is Moshfik again, and we will talk a little about a few things that we've been talking about in the last few One Nation, One Planet, One Race meetings. So the last topic I talked about was the Universal Council acting as the enhancement unit for the planet. So essentially, it is an environment where the souls can operate as with its full potential. So, of course, one of the things that we have noticed in our Knowledge Seekers workshop is that this brings into focus the idea that we are about to operate at that level. So there is, of course, a preparation involved in using one's soul. So preparation, of course, the environment facilitates it. The Universal Council as an enhancement unit makes it easier to operate that way. But is that enough? We have to do our own preparation as well. We, the knowledge seekers, and many of us involved in various capacities with the Keshe Foundation, in a way, need to move away from the old environment. I'm just calling it old for lack of any better word, to the new environment. That of the field created by the Universal Council and the universal community. So when we put these two ideas, the idea of Universal Council and the universal community together, it's a very interesting combination, because the community is both inside the enhancement unit and as well as outside the enhancement unit. So those of the universal community that are present on planet in various guise are, of course, under the influence of their manifestation in the current earthly environment. And as a result, the field that we are exposed to is also being felt by all of these souls that are currently on this planet. So does that affect them? We know from our own experience we are affected by it. So some of us may be more aware of the origin, may know how to do better, but with the field of the enhancement unit, the planetary enhancement unit, we have the possibility now of manifesting things that we didn't even imagine. So the thing that all of us are in a position to get familiar with is that we have the possibility of, in a way, achieving unthinkable. We have the possibility of using high strength field where time, the way time works in the planetary context of this moment can be different. We can speed up things, and at times we may need to slow down things for our own good. And we can use our soul in this operating environment to function according to the need of both our emotion and our physical existence, and enhance both in the process. So, of course, those of us who are freshly from somewhere else, not as affected by the field or not as stifled by the fields that are present on this planet, may show us a few things that we can all do. So it's a fun environment of learning new things and doing those things and implementing them with the help of all the friends we have. And it's not just a universal community, even at the level of cultures, we see different strengths. Some cultures are very meticulous. Some cultures are less organized, but very artistic, things like that. I'm just picking two random examples here. But, so sometimes both can be used at different stages of creation, things we create, the environment we create, or the atmosphere that we create for our cohabitation. So the basic thing about this environment is that we have to think outside our previous confined or suppressed fields. We go to a big city, we go to another country, we are exposed to ideas or fresh fields of different kind. The same is available now, but in a much bigger scale. We are no longer confined, given that we have this enhanced field in which to work in. So we can look around, we can look within. Both are available in this field. That's why I said the universally community is both inside and outside. So inside not necessarily means the planetary confinement. I'm also talking about within ourselves and outside space, of course, included in this. So we can take this freedom of creative expression or the creator within to whatever level we choose to. And the environment is being set up by the universal community and the universal field, council field that is working together with this universal community. So what we can do in this environment, let's look out for all these possibilities, all these new ideas, all these creative possibilities. And as we go to the higher strength field, I mean, possibility just increases at a rate which is really just like how the field increases in orders of magnitude. And that includes travel, transportation, transformation as well. And the interesting thing is that we don't have to leave the beauty of physical existence. It's we are operating with both the physical existence and at the soul level, and beyond how far we are about to find out. So it's an interesting environment. And can we participate in this creation of the universal council field? Why not? Any of us can contribute to it. We are here, we are contributing to it right now. And let's keep it going. Thank you very much.
Thank you, my dear Moshfik. So beautiful words. And I will say, when Stefania was also saying that when you become the feeder, kind of, the feeder, when you want to feed or do the services, then there's a feedback always. But then it depends what you have fed. The feedbacks comes in a way. And I will say that this is the time and the moment that you should enhance what you are feeding. You should see carefully what you are feeding, or you are getting the feedback, or there is a space in between that the radiance is coming, so that you can see that the happiness and joy you have given. So this is very much essential. Intentionally, if you feed in the clarity of the level of understanding, I will say there are social foundation techniques, or whatever you say, factors of many things we are in, and there's much devastation already occurred, and we don't want that feedback anymore. So how can we do that? By elevating our own souls. Yes, when we elevate our souls from within in peace, then we can give. We become the giver. We become humble. It is, well, I will say automatically coming. The soul comes in the field, and like a friend with you hugs you and say, here I am, do it. Then you are going truthfully towards the gradient and focus at the target. And the feedback is the radiance of joy and love given to you back. And you can see this in manifestation also. This is the way the interaction takes place, as the universe is within us and outside us, as Moshfik says. So this is what we have learned in Keshe Foundation. This is the key, that what we do affects all, and what all do affects me, us all. So we have to see with our two eyes and observe like a detective, that what you observed is the feedback. Are you agreeing with that? Then you can change, transform yourself to the level of radiance or radiance, that you can flow like that. No? So that you can get the feedback again, and then again you get the feedback. There is the joy and happiness. There is the parchment to you. Hey, you have given so much happiness. Thank you. So this is what our way, this is what our science of soul is. So we are all in it. And as the universal bodies created all this, thank you to all of them, that as a universal being, my Messiah Mehran Keshe, continuously, non-stop, creating this knowledge, creating this peaceful home for all of us, and walking in the waters of this purity. Never had, it was out of comprehension for humanity. At the moment when we were in that trap, now we are outside, making the outside realm in the waters of love, care, and light. So this is what I want to say. Thank you, my dear Moshfik, again. We can go to the next slide, my dear Rick. Here is, yes. This is the Sunday at 12 p.m. and 6 p.m. CEST. Call to all knowledge seekers. Let's together create the peace dome all over the planet. Beautiful. Use the plasma water from your cups of life 1 and 2 to make the plasmatic spraying, and then spread your soul all over. Give and receive. So if anybody wants to share anything in this peacefulness, in this care and light, love, please do share. Welcome, my dear ones. Welcome.
Hey, Shawata, I'm just gonna go over something regarding the regarding what I wrote that day is just when we talk about what Mr. Keshe started and the knowledge he brought, the knowledge of the creation. I mean, all of us, since we started, because we didn't know before better, and our life was like a hidden miss. Like we didn't know on a daily basis. We had these thoughts: where am I going, and what I'm going to do, and we were doing it. So, and then if you look at us as a human body, when you're born, we have certain memories of our ancestor, and then you cannot even miss yourself. You're walking, or your child, or your family member walks, and then you see a certain pattern of they smile, they walk, and they talk, and the way they move their hand, the gesture, certain thing you see from your great grandparents, your grandparents, you see something in them. Their nails, everything is a memory, is what DNA just brought to the present from the past. So we have all the ancestral line within when we're born, and then we gather new memories. Because even when we walk on a street, and because we're not present, we're not present at the moment. If we pass by a tree, the memory of that tree is presented in us. It takes the imprint on us. So by the age of until now, then when we didn't know, until age of 35, we constantly are getting imprint of what is around us, the impressions, the experiences we go through, and we create a kind of a software, memory bank. And after age of 35, we kind of repeat the same pattern. If you look at yourself, most people are like this. You get up in the morning. That's why, when pandemic happened, there was a lot of mayhem in people's life. Husband and wife couldn't live together. Families disturbed. People got depressed because the memory couldn't play because people thought I'm the one who makes the decision, but in actuality, they are not the one who make the decision, because if you were making the decision, even if they lock you in a room, you decide what I'm going to do today. I'm locked in this room. I have only a pot of water and maybe some food to eat. I'm going to here for 10 days. So you decide what I'm going to spend my daily life on in this room for 8 days or 10 days. But then the reason we go into the mayhem, because those memories cannot repeat itself. So the physicality react to it because it's a software is playing. But now since we learn the knowledge, about be conscious. So now we are conscious about is a couple of things. One is there's certain thing we learn how to take care of ourselves on a daily basis. Certain needs there are, like you feed yourself, you clean yourself. But the rest of it, you do it consciously. Even this is done consciously. So, so everything we come to do or decide to do, we have to ask ourselves, what is the purpose I'm doing this? What is the purpose I'm saying this? What is the purpose I'm writing this? Is it because of is my own need? Because my own need is just like certain things just go by, that's it. Or is it for everybody's need? Am I fulfilling my own insecurities or my own ego or my own stuff, or is it something that it gives something to someone? What is it? So and the only person right now here, since we know this knowledge, the person that really judges us is ourselves. In order to elevate, we constantly, when we think something, then we say, okay, like, I give you an example. We talk about non-attachment. So say I have, I have my practice. I've had it for many years. So suddenly it's time for me to move. Now, when the notion comes, the uncomfortableness comes that it's hard for me to move away from it. There's certain attachment here. There's certain routine here that you got comfortable in your own routine. You get up in the morning, you take showers, you do your stuff, you go to your practice, you do your dentistry, and you go home and you do your night stuff. There's a pattern here. So now the whole thing is the uncomfortableness comes, maybe the fear comes, all those come because it's just the attachment. So since we know it, we look at it differently. We don't look at it with the fear. We don't look at it, okay, this is what attachment means. It means you get uncomfortable. So now how can I overcome it? How can I go above it? So these are the things we little by little we learn, and then in sharing what we know, most important thing is the work that we do within ourselves, that we kind of get to the profound meaning of how to serve and how to be. How to be doesn't mean I have to do anything. Sometimes we are in a gathering and you see something without somebody asking, you jump up and go do something, but nobody asked you to do anything. But why is it you get up and you do something? It's because you want to, Mr. Keshe one time said, I was talking about somebody came and asking for money, or standing there, or go and feed the person, buy something for them, or give them money. He said, because you want to satisfy yourself. And a lot of things we do is just like that, because we get pride, like I would go and help a beggar. So it's a satisfaction of the self rather than helping someone. So we have to be careful in a way we operate from the point of being humble or be devoted, because the only thing recently came to my mind that really could help in this journey to get detached is God always says, seek me, and I'm always by your side. Seeking him, and seeking him, it means seeking your soul. When you think about your soul sitting in the middle of your brain, it means I have a physical soul and my soul sitting in the middle of my brain, which I kind of locked him up, or locked her up. And now my best friend, the one who can actually lead the way, is locked up. How can I get closer to it? How can I open that channel? So this is more in tuning with going into toward inside and be more closer and get closer and closer to the soul in the center of our brain. And then here, as a group, we have many Telegram group in here, and we all can share. We have many of them. We have many languages, but going and creating more and more different groups, it doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean I'm doing something constructive. The beauty of our knowledge of these groups is that we have enough group that in each group, depending on what is the specialty of the group, it could be medicine, it could be agriculture, it could be energy, it could be space. People get or soul, people get gravitated to what they really like to be part of. What do they like? They in a voice they just enjoy talking about it, or they just thrive in it, or they have experiences, or they can something to offer. So they get gravitated toward that. So you should go and share in those groups. But it doesn't mean since I became excited about things, now I'm going to create another group because I say I want to exist. Look, I created a group. Look at me. Because the group is already there. If you want to say something, we can say it. We can explore it. We can invite as many people as we want. But ultimately, the ultimate judge is we know in our head what is our intention. And that's the ultimate thing, the intention. I mean, we can fool other people, but we cannot fool ourselves. And the more honest and sincere with ourselves, actually the cage of the soul opens much, much quicker. Because the reason the soul is hesitant to come out, because insincerity of us that doesn't allow it to the cage to open. It's just like a key you have, and that sincerity is the key. That devotion, that care, that humbleness is the key. When it gets to that threshold, that lock is just like have you have this combination lock? When you go to the left, to the right, to go to the left and right, suddenly when it clicks, it just opens automatically. So that's the way the soul, the cage works. When it gets to that point, all of us, any of us that hasn't opened that cage yet, is because that's us hasn't matched those points that needs to be there. Because when you look at your spine, is a center of a spine that goes to your brain. You have the soul in the middle, and you have your lungs, and you have your breath, and you have your heart. When these all work together, when you breathe, how you breathe, the connection with the heart, with the lung, with your spine, with the way you walk, with the way you breathe, this and the way you feel, the way you think. So all these things at one point get to a threshold that just clicks, and that's it. The soul comes out, and you're free. In the beginning, it could be just a few seconds because it's so new, and you might jump, you might get scared, but then you get used to it. then you see the sweetness of the soul comes out and you're there. And the soul goes in again. And the more soul comes out, the more the sweetness of it you feel, then it makes you more humble, makes you more sincere. Because you actually see the face of God when the soul comes out, you see the unity of everything in one thing. Everything is one. You don't see any separation. There is no you and me and a tree and a dog and a cat and a room and a carpet and a TV or a stone. So that feeling of longing for the soul, for the God itself, that longing, if you keep that longing alive in yourself, that you long for it. If you spend one night, it's not about meditation. If you spend one night with your best friend, a total devotion and attention to your best friend, you just sit there. Imagine your best friend is sitting in front of you and has something to tell you. He wants to tell you about his life or her life, their stories. And you sit there and you say to your friend, I'm here for you, 100%. Just tell me what you want to say. That's kind of longing for the God, for the soul. That's how it starts to open up. But by creating more groups or being out there and extracting more stuff, the soul is not going to show you because you're doing a lot of stuff online. The soul is going to show you when you have that sincerity, that humbleness, that devotion to it. Then that's the time, just like you say, you go to the left, go to the right, to the heart, to the lung, to the back, to the brain. All of them come at one point and clicks and open. And bring so much beauty, and then you can teach it. You can talk about your feelings when it happened. What did you see? And that's what we're here to teach. That's what we're here to guide people to step into, to experience that oneness with themselves. Actually, it's not oneness with anybody else. Until now, we put the actual one who is us in a back door. It said, you stay here, shut up, and I'm going to run the show. But now we say, no, the show has to be run by you, not me. I'm just the carrier of you. I just carry you on this planet. And one day this body, as Mr. Keshe says, instead of dumping it on this planet, it's better to take it with us. If we get to that point, that's the beauty of this planet, because we don't have any dumpsters anymore to dump these bodies. We take it with us. I don't know if it's going to happen in our time, but anyway, it will happen. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, my dear Azhar. So beautiful. And anybody else want to add, my beautiful souls, to Azhar's beautiful words? Welcome. This is, I want to say something, that this is an experience that has been, as you said, Azhar, that the space of me, myself, that has been created many, many years ago, when I got married and I have children, and then this notion of being separated by the social system. I was doing, the children that now grown up, have their jobs, and they're kind of the family people, they have their egos and outspokenness and about how they earn money and doing their job properly in time. And I am a housewife doing all the 24 hours. There is no time for me. Then I was like the person taking the flute, touching my lips with the flute, breathing the sweet air from my heart, and the music is created. and there's always this music, and I dances. My soul danced with me always, and the joy was there. But in this, what happened is I was doing many things: knitting, stitching, cooking, gardening, and all, even and the creation of this uh, beautiful waters of Keshe Foundation, I will say. Uh, and in this pandemic, when they became like kind of weak, they see, I see them like that. They turned, and the light was on me. And what was going on? They said, "Mother, uh, you're you're not sleeping at night." No, I don't sleep. I said, "I don't sleep so early. I was doing this all the years. You haven't focused that time. Now you know. That is it." And they understood. They were trying to understand me. How can I do that? This was simple for me. That I am ready to cook. You want a breakfast? You want a night uh, 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 cookies and milk or whatever you want? It is here. I am awake and I will be there. I am awake and I am knitting. I am awake and I am writing something. So they then focused on me. You have done this pottery, mother. I have said, yes, I have done this 3 years ago. You haven't seen it. Now you are seeing it. So this is what, as Azhar said, the turn. In a way, they turn toward me. And with I have that natural, simple energy as a being. And that looks for them so hard, that this is the hardest work. This I said, no, this is the most beautifulest work I do, and I can do at any time. That is the way the courage is inside my heart. I created that, and many are turning, towards the simplicity, towards the origin, towards the nature, as they are. They are trying to understand, even fearful then because from them there is a future, and there is an artificial intelligence, and there will be, that is something out of comprehension, and there will be more money and more money, and the society will go on like this. There will be banks, there will be corrupt people, and you can bribe anybody you have money. But then they are fearful that this will not exist. Why? Because I said I said to my children, because I say this will not exist. If there is going to be a civilization, this will not exist anymore. That is the fear. So sometimes they ask me, sometimes they are fearful to ask me any question. So what answer they will get, they will say. So this is what the interactions are going on. The focus is back on this simplicity, and it is hard for them to digest, but they have to anyway, like that. So I want to see that, the truthful and the beautiful thing is you from yourself coming out, always timeless. And if you adopt to this level in a way, then you are always happy. And as you said, my Messiah said that there's no dumping bodies. Really, really, real. There will be no place to dump. The physicality will go with us. That is the way the ancient civilization was. And there was guys, there was masters, there was teachers, there was people, beings like us, going in swift in a moment to anywhere, coming back like that. So this is the spaceful, lovely full knowledge, and become, take the flute, touch with your lips, breathe in it. Otherwise, the flute is here and you are not touching it, and the music is not there. So here we have to do soulful and peaceful, of course. Thank you, my dear Azad. Always, always so much inspiration, my dear. Thank you so much. Now we can go to the next slide, my dear Rick. If there is anybody else want to share about the spraying of Sunday. Then, okay. Here is the Mojan. Is Andreas here? Andreas?
Hello, Shweta. Hello, everyone.
Hello, Andreas, my dear. Welcome. Welcome, my dear.
Do you hear me well?
Yes, yes. Yes, of course.
Okay, good. So before we can start, Rick, can you just allow me to share the webcam, please?
Okay, you should be able to do that now.
Thank you very much. So, hello everyone. We are grateful to have you here, listening to us, sharing with us. And right now, we from the Motion Training, we would like to invite you to have a short trip back in time into another element, because we were still in the water on last Monday, like yesterday. The situation, there are some things known and still very much of the unknown all around us, as we just saw that there's something or someone waving at us from one side, and from the other side there was a big tsunami just rolling towards us. And so in this very moment where we found ourselves again, just thinking our way out of the situation, was just about that moment when that huge wave in the middle of the ocean was about to crash over us, and there was a vortex below our feet sucking us in, and we just had to let go and sink into the water. The last thing that we barely imagined and could recognize was there was like a huge mouse, but it looked not like a mouse with teeth. It looked more like a beak of a bird. And so we actually lost touch with the reality, and we just found ourselves in a dry place in midst of someone else. It took us some time until we woke up again, and there was a voice talking to us, the voice of the turtle. Turtle, great mother, feed my spirit, close my heart, that I may serve you too. Turtle is the ambassador of our all-mother Earth. In Native American teachings, turtle is the oldest symbol for planet Earth. It is the personification of goddess energy and the eternal mother from which our lives evolve. We are born of the womb of Earth, and to her soul our bodies will return. In honoring the Earth, we are asked by Turtle to be mindful of the cycle of give and take, and to give back to the Mother as she has given to us. Turtle has a shell which is similar to the protection that Earth has employed for centuries as her body has been defiled. Mother Earth's protection has come in the form of earth changes, new plant growth, the creation of new land masses by volcanoes, and climate alterations. Like Turtle, you also have shields that protect you from hurt, envy, jealousy, and the unconsciousness of others. Turtle teaches you, through its habits pattern, how to use protection. If you are bothered by the actions or words of others, it is time to go inside yourself and honor your feelings. If you are attacked, it is time to give a warning snap. As we have chosen turtle today, you are being asked to honor the creative source within you, to be grounded to the earth and to observe your situation with motherly compassion. Use the water and earth energies, which represent turtle's two homes, to flow harmoniously with your situation and to place your feet firmly on the ground in a power stance. Turtle is a fine teacher of the art of grounding. You might even be able to overcome some of your space-cadet tendencies if you align with turtle medicine. In learning to ground, you are placing focus on your thoughts and actions and slowing to a pace that assures completion. Turtle warns of the dangers of pushing the river, as evidenced by the plodding pace it keeps. The corn that is harvested before its time is not yet full. However, if it is given the chance to be developed at its own rate, in its own season, its sweetness will be shared by all. Turtle buries its thoughts, like its egg, in the sand and allows the sun to hatch the little ones. This teaches you to develop your ideas before bringing them out into the light. Look at the old fable of the tortoise and the hare and decide for yourself whether or not you would like to align with turtle. Bigger, stronger, and faster are not always the best ways to get to a goal. When you arrive, you may be asked where you've been, and you may not be able to remember. In that case, arriving prematurely can make you feel very immature. As we have drawn turtle today, it augurs a time of connecting with the power of Earth and the Mother Goddess within. This is a reminder of the ally you have in Mother Earth. It does not matter what situation you have created. Ask her for assistance, and abundance will follow. As that voice just disappeared, we felt a sudden switch in our reality, and we face our head towards the ground as our submarine literally switched 180 degrees from straight to belly up. With this message, the turtle tells you that Mother Earth is calling you to reconnect in some way. If you have become flippant and forgotten to place wastes in its proper place, instead of throwing it out of the car window, she is calling. If you have felt alone in your time of need, she is calling. If you have been struggling financially or have little to eat, or if you have desired a child and see no pregnancy in the near future, she is your medicine. Use it. You are not alone, ever. You are a child of Earth, and all acts of pleasure, joy, and abundance are given by the Mother of the creative force. Use her energy to aid you, and you will be healed enough to share this energy with others. The idea of a turtle helplessly trying to right itself after it has been flipped upside down can also symbolize contrary turtle. You are not a victim, you are not helpless, no matter how much it may seem like this is the case in your present situation. To right the ill-dignified turtle, you need only list the things you are grateful for, and from that grateful place in your heart, look for the abundance of alternatives that Mother Earth gives. after the calm voice of the turtle, we dare to open our eyes. There is a flickering light in that room that seems to float through space, keeping all the water outside. And yet somehow that light seems to flow from the outside to the inside. We try to figure out if we are in the stomach or in any other place of that turtle. But how could we know? We have never been there. For a stomach it looks way too clean. There are no bones, no residues. Clean as a nice house that has been cleaned. And so the turtle shares with us another secret. The turtle is the symbol that represents the planet. So the turtle is sent by our All-Mother to you to save you, to remember you that you are owned, or you are basically inside of her. And all that she is giving is abundance to all there is on her and in her. And due to that intense love that the planet shows itself through giving and taking, or through giving and receiving, the turtle applied this love to its creation. The turtle said, "I cannot eat. It hurts my heart. I can sustain myself without beating anyone, and so nobody needs to be afraid of me. All there is what I need, and there is no time of no need." The planet creates the water, the air, the earth, the fire, and the children, and all its kind. And it's always aware of everything that goes, so it can protect itself, its creation inside of her. And yet you are asking, how do you sustain? How can you live that long? You are so huge. You must be very, very old. So the turtle shared again that age is not something to consider if you feel just that the moment is right all the time. Through the heart connection to the core of the planet, I get always fed. This trust to the bigger picture, to the universe, is here right now. Try to remember that everything I need in the water is here, abundant for all of us. Remember this lesson when you go back to land. Try to bring this knowledge to the people of the land. So no matter what hope or idea you had or didn't have anymore in the water, it was the planet through the connection, the animal kingdom, that felt you and brought you literally home. And so we find ourselves back at the shore, and we are just happy to be there. And for the first time, we are so grateful to be alive. The moment we are at the beach, just lay ourselves back, the back, and our only wish is to share this peace, this feeling of love back to the planet, back to Mother Earth. And so through the connection of our body, our mind, our heart, through the soul, we speak in silence to that we have not seen, because it's always and allwhere. So thank you for listening. This was a short rehearsal, short door back to yesterday, where we finally made it back to land, and now it's time to rest in the time frame of the game, of the map, of your heart, to just experiencing yourself and to remember you are never alone. You promised yourself that if you find anyone alive on this place here, you will share the message. The love of the planet, spoken through the silent voice, the consciousness, the light in the turtle. And so you find yourself letting the body go, becoming one with the sand. If you would like to know how it goes further in the story, we welcome you to join us on next Monday, 6 o'clock in the evening, and we will see how the journey continues from that beach on. That was my little input for you to share. This is our fourth animal in the fourth session, and there are many more to come. If you want to discover more of the content of the motion training, we shared with you already the Sandman exercise. We were also talking about this, so we will go more into the training at the lesson on next Monday. Basically, you already have seen, if you have joined us a couple of weeks ago, so how you could let go and imitate now the waves in your body, because this is like a memory effect, that the longer you spend in an environment, you have a different adjustment of your emotions to that environment. So I think many of you have already experienced that if you have stayed for a certain time in water, if you come back to land, or if you go on a ship and you come back to land, there might be a moment where when you're not sure if the land is really stable or safe now. So this floating feeling, this field connection, if you will, is something that we basically carry with us now. So we know how the ocean feels and how it actually moves through and by its energy. And this cycle is now memorized within us. And so we are going to apply this knowledge now on land. Is there a question of anyone? Sweta, I just wanted to say that thank you for the drawings that you have in the beginning. There was a lot of blue inside, so that matched very much the tsunami that we had yesterday. And yet we know that we are protected if we are just able to see through the heart.
Yes, thank you, my dear Andreas. Thank you. The waters, I will say, when before I was in this universal path, we were in universal, but there was the waters that that has been a messenger, kind of, when I was in a time of pain and suffering. I was searching the internet, I was searching. I always searched, and I was searching, and suddenly a professor, a blog from a professor from California, and he was from India basically, and he said that there were hills of Amravati where I live in India. I didn't even know the hills of Amravati existed here at that time. And he said there flows the river of Patala that comes from within Mother Earth. And it is so forceful and pure that even River Ganga bows to it, And if you go there, and the professor said that if you go there, I was desperately searching for the truth, and I can do anything at that time, and then and the river was Narmada, and Mother Narmada, and when and the professor said if you go in the full moon at the Amravati mountains and dip yourself in the water of Narmada and write a letter, what you want to have the message uh, uh, through like like small boat, paper boat, you can wave it in the water of Narmada, and the moon will answer you. The gods of the moon will answer you. At that time, I believed in that, and I prepared myself for the journey, and I have gone with a person very opposite to me. Then, but I was there. Even the vehicle was something else, but I was there, and the letter was written that I'm searching for truth. I'm searching for truth of myself. Who am I? I have written this in that letter in Hindi language, and after dipping 7 times in the water of Narmada at the full moon, the moon was so bright and so large. I was dipping in the water that was black in color, and I waved the letter like a small boat, and then the moon, the gods of the moon, must have seen this, as they always see. That was the belief that time, and then I will say that that was not a ritual, that was not a religion, that was me going to the river, and then I came to this knowledge of light and love. So it is always the water, a civilization grows near the water, and of course the turtle, the Mother Earth, the protector of all of us, is now changing the position in the vast ocean of love. So I will say we all have to transform as according she wants now. You know? Like when she came with the moon rock, the essence of the beauty, she came and manifested herself like that. You know? So the waters are the bridge. The waters, we have to move in through it. Like there will be the guidance of the waters, I will say, and the bridge in between. So this will never end. Thank you so much, my dear Andreas. Thank you for appreciating. Thank you. Thank you. If anybody wants to say anything, any beautiful souls, my dear, wants to share anything, please do. Any question to Andreas or sharing?
Okay, I'll remind the attendees they can put their virtual hands up and we can allow you to open the microphone. We had a comment from Freed in the live stream. Thank you, dear Andreas, for your deep sharing.
Thank you,
It's a pleasure.
Faith.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I think Stefania is back. Maybe she can add to the knowledge to this or the other slide. Stefania, are you here?
Yes, I'm here, but I need a few minutes to move location. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we hear you, Stefania.
Thank you.
So we'll give you a few minutes.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I'm ready now. Good evening. Yeah, good morning. Good afternoon. Yes, sorry, I missed the beginning. So I arrived where you were talking about the turtle, and I think it's really nice when because when everyone adding to their own knowledge. So you study animals in the shamanism. So it's nice how that is connected to what we are doing in the plasma technology. I really enjoy to see, different knowledge adding to the, to what we're learning. So it was very interesting. I was thinking, yeah. So I missed the beginning. So so I was just listening and enjoying about the turtle. Very interesting. I mean, in the motion, where do you see the correlation with the motion teaching when Mr. Keshe was telling us also, like now, if we meet up in the dreams, for example, I noticed the last Thursday workshop, he gave us a little exercise, Mr. Keshe, I think. This is my interpretation, when he said that we have to decide before going to bed, we have to have a destination. So what I'm learning, I'm learning that when you work with the soul, you have to create a destination first, and then you're creating a road from A to B at the soul level first, especially because at the soul level you can do whatever you want, you know, whatever you need, you know. So you're creating that road that we cannot see, but it's there, and then gradually you materialize there at the right time. So so he was talking a lot about this, and on the last workshop about you have to do you remember when in the past he used to said that the most important things in life is to post a letter and write on top of the letter the destination, so you already know. So you already know when the address of where you arrive, you know. So I think last week he told us similar things, where before to travel we have to decide where we want to go. If you want to see your grandmother, or if you want to go for dinner with your sister, so you can decide if you travel in Earth or travel outside the Earth. So I think last Thursday for me was kind of driving lesson for the Mojan. You know, we are all Mojan, so I thought it was the first driving lesson. Did you felt that? Did you felt that? Because he was talk about start to training, you know, like a mushfak he was doing, that he's already practiced how to travel in the dreams. I thought last week was like a driving lesson, and that reminded me a lot of Mojan, because in the Mojan they used to tell us that we're supposed to meet up in the dream, and are supposed to say, Andreas, you had a yellow t-shirt and red shoes, and you had a glass of wine, and you said to me, yes, I had a glass of wine, and you had a glass of wine too, and you have a pink shoes. I said, yes, I had pink. So it really, I think yesterday he wanted to, for who had never done it before, to start to practice. And I'm sure many people, they done it already. I know a lot of people do they're doing this already, where they can decide what they're gonna do in the night, and then in the morning they're gonna do the stuff that maybe the project during the night. I mean, yeah, what do you think? You think that it was a little bit of a lesson last Thursday on how to travel? Did you feel that, Rick or Andreas?
This is MOSFET, Stefania.
Yeah.
So it wasn't in dream, it was a conscious process.
Yeah, but it's the same, because basically now we know that between dreaming and doing, or imagining and doing, is the same things. One cannot be without the other. So one cannot be without the other. So it cannot be separated. You know, so when we talk about dream, the difference is that I think Mr. Keshe wants us to be 24/7 conscious, aware. And how do you become aware? By feeling.
Yeah, by feeling, but you know, in dream state, there is another factor that comes into play. Since generally, unless you are doing a lucid dreaming kind of thing, in dream state, you experience certain things and certain emotions are triggered. And usually you remember the dream when you have a lot more emotional involvement. So generally we translate our dreams using the emotions we experienced in our daily lives. But you know, these are kind of like strong emotions, but in order to get into the dream, we have to get past these stronger emotions. There are other levels of emotions where you can actually consciously operate much more strongly. And this is something that, I mean, I don't think we get trained in it, but, but that's why the dreams we usually have, either fear, anger, that we usually have those kind of dreams, those that create strong impacts, those we remember. The others we tend to not remember, or the deep parts of the dreams that do not have those kind of elements don't have as strong an effect. But once we can get past these stronger or coarser emotion, I should say, then you can actually get closer to the soul's experience. So the translation errors are not amplified. I hope I'm making sense. So this is so I mean, those who have some experience with lucid dreaming knows what I'm talking about, but I'm not as much into that, but nevertheless I know from my own experience. But the closer we are to the higher level emotions, the better we understand the soul's operation. I hope that clears up a little bit.
Okay, thank you, Mashak. We have a couple of hands up here. From Sam, I'll allow Sam to talk. Do you have a question, Sam?
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. So you were talking about the dream
If
state.
you could say who you are and where you're from first, that'd be great. Thanks.
My name is Sam Paul from San Jose.
Okay, thank you. Go ahead.
Problem. So the dream state, right? We were talking about the dream state and the sort of connections between lucid dreaming and pushing aside those feelings to be able to get to there. And I was sort of wondering what your stance is on, I'm sure we all know about the counter universe and how Capricorns can connect from there and back. And so I was wondering, where does the connection lie between the eternal realm and the sort of physical imbalance in between the spirit dimension and our emotions, and just how that all comes into play when we think about space travel and the future in a broad sense? Does that make sense?
Well, it's a pretty big question. We'll see who among the Universal Council would like to take that on. Perhaps you could rephrase it or just ask it again, because it's important. So perhaps you can just remind us again.
Yeah, no problem. So setting the sort of ground foundations of the counter universe and our emotional imbalance within the solar system, and just sort of thinking about, so we've got Neptune, right? And we've got the Capricorn planet of Chungus. And I'm just wondering how this connects them. And of course, we've also got the endoplanets. And I'm wondering how these planets, when they connect and when they form that counter universe, how that is going to affect our emotions and our emotional state when it comes to the future, and the way Jabberwockies are going to sort of interconnect with our planet and our future. So basically, how is this counter universe going to help build up our emotional core as the solar system combines?
Rick, may I?
Well, certainly.
You see, when you talk about planets, I don't know when we talk about all the planets in terms of the zodiac system, astrology, the time we're born, when you talk about Capricorn, Neptune, when we're born, those planets, the timing of ourselves in terms of physicality, the planet has an effect on us, which means that if a child be seen by someone, by a shaman, by a medicine man, by a guru, by an astrologer, they're going to say, what is the faith of this child? But then what we learn now, because this is in a realm of physicality, and it seems like we have no choice. But what we're learning in terms of the physical soul and the soul, if we move to the soul, no longer those planets has an effect on our faith, because you're moving from the soul. It's just like this. You go to the theater, the projector projecting a light to the scene, to the screen in the front of you. As long as you're sitting in the audience, looking at the screen, you see the hero, the villain, and the rest. But if you get up and look at the light, go to the light, no longer that exists. It's the same thing here. So now, why is it that certain people can change their destiny? Because they get to the higher level of soul level. If you understand it, then those things, those astrology, those planetary system is not going to have effect on you as long as you operate from the soul level, not from the physical soul. I don't know if
I think that's understandable, right? But
this is Mospec. I would take it's essentially the same thing, but yeah. I would take a more scientific perspective of what Azad just explained. It's essentially the same thing, but it might help many of us to relate to it from a different angle. So if you look at our brain and the structure of the brain and our physical existence, so the physical field, which is the weakest field, which creates the physical manifestation, and then you go, further into our solar system, where our soul is the sun, that is the center of the solar system. I'm actually condensing it quite a bit of a lot of Keshe Foundation knowledge, and then the emotions you can't think of there are different magnetic gravitational field strengths. You can think of those are as orbits of planets. So the brain structure, the physical being the periphery of, let's say, our solar system, and the soul is the sun, and in between we have various orbits, which is the emotion. So the external planets have very little influence, if any, when you are operating within your own universe, where this soul is the sun that is, so to speak, enlightening you all the way, the whole system, which is another compressed solar system. So this is, I just said it in a more Keshe Foundation science point of view, but you get the idea.
Yeah, the scientific approach, that was handy, because it's nice to see a sort of a factual point of view in these sorts of things, because I think that's quite hard to come by these days, but to see it put like that, yeah, thank you very much. But see, you spoke about that sort of crossing universes, but when my physical spirit turns around and it says to me, you don't have what it takes, you don't have the source that is required, then what happens in the physical realm. Because when you think about it, nature isn't as we perceive it, right? It's as we perceive the world, and lucid dreaming helps us get into that sort of that sort of area where we're in a world where we can see the world in a better way, because the world is a violent place, right? It can overtake us. Somebody once told me the world was going to roll me, because, you know, I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed. But I think what's more important is the fact that ethereal beings can come to this planet and overtake us at any moment. But what we're not thinking of is the spiritual beings that haven't come yet and that can overtake the universe, right? So when you put it like that, I mean, I'm just scared for our future. I really am.
Sam, is the way you're thinking about it is, you think about something like somebody makes a Hollywood movie. The world doesn't work that way. You see, is an order in it, because when you look at the creator, everything, the source of everything is that principal matter, or the field that is everything. And it's just like the best example it helped me is that projector, that the light is the light of God and comes on the screen, everything becomes. So when you think about the dream, actually, when you go to sleep, you give an opportunity to your soul to get out. That's what soul does, what he wants to do at night, because during the time you're awake is inside. But then the minute you wake up, if you can, it's very possible, if you can stay awake enough before you fall asleep, actually that's the time, actually, I mean, it's very hard to do it. I haven't accomplished it, but somebody said, if you can stay up enough when you want to fall asleep and you beat that moment, you can actually know the knowledge of creation in a go. So also, when you are in this planet right now, where you are, it's this illusion that you think you are here, but at the same time, if you could do it, you're not actually, not none of these things that you see exist around you. It's all illusion. But at the same time, you're everywhere in the universe, because suddenly you see yourself here, and suddenly you could see yourself in another planet, because you exist everywhere simultaneously because of your soul, not because of physicality. Physicality limits us to believe we are it, and we are here on this planet, in this room, and in this house, in this city, in this country, but it doesn't exist in actuality. If you be able to sit and get to the point of vibration, of elevation of yourself, that around yourself, you practically don't see anything. You're in a space with nothing around you. So how is it possible? Because physicality gives us that notion. It's just like we are creator, that the minute we get locked in this body, everything else goes away, and all we see is us. This is the body, this is me, this is where I am, and we get totally limited. But the actuality is limitless. And
yeah, that's true, right? It's limitless. But back to what you were saying at the start of me perceiving the ethereal realm as sort of a Hollywood movie. I think I think it's natural for me and a lot of the public because it's what we grew up with, right? We're sort of manipulated in a way. And, you know, like you take a big Hollywood star, you take John Cena, okay? In one of his most famous movies, Fred 3, Camp Fred, with Lucas Cruikshank, he sort of discovers this ethereal realm. And it's kind of frustrating the way they show it in that film because it's so untrue to real life. And but it tricks all these people.
I'm sorry, I wasn't talking about a Hollywood movie. I was talking about we ourselves are a movie on this planet.
Me too. Now,
so
the thing with sorry, I'm just getting around to that. Is Hollywood is a dangerous place, and when you think again, you think about the sort of dream realm. You think about people coming in and out of consciousness through the emotional capabilities of the Gorgon flips, as we know, and we just don't know how that can be manipulated to act against us, right? And so I think one more question I have, thinking back on my own previous experiences, you know, I mean, ever since I left the city, I got a reputation for myself. And I think this reputation sort of damaged me in a way because of the way that the dream people would come and attack me in the day. And when this happened, it wouldn't affect the people around me, but it would affect me, right? I couldn't get to sleep. And I think the thing that was lingering in my mind was sort of how electromagnetism works and how it can really affect us and how it's sort of seen in day to day, right? There are so many magnetical beings in our life that we don't know about. So I guess a lot of these can be seen in the kitchen. Well, why do they call it oven when you oven the cold food of out hot eat the food? You know, it's just something to think about.
I didn't understand your last question. I didn't get that.
Why do they call it oven when you oven the cold food of out hot eat the food? Is that okay? Thank you.
I still don't understand it. But anyway, if anybody else understand it, they can answer. Okay. Thank you.
If I may. So, you know, let's one of the factors that you're talking about is the fear, which is a very basic emotion, which is part of our survival instinct as well. And you had some experience in dreams where you are traumatized. Now, these fields that affects our basic emotions, they're disturbing. Yes, there is no question about it. And you know, Hollywood, as you said, is very good at exploiting it. And by the way, I lived in Hollywood for a while, but I'm quite familiar with that world. But in any case, what does something that destroy or diminish is by definition going to a lower strength field because it is just diminishing itself. So, and it tries to push us as well towards lower field strength, where our fears are, triggered. Now, if you raise your field strength means, for example, going to a place where you feel happy. this is an example of changing your emotional state. You are outside the boundary of these entities that exploit lower strength. There are many ways of doing it. Even, reading children's jokes, children's storybook can trigger ones toward that direction. But essentially what we need to do is strengthen our field through friendship, talking to people. There are various, each of us are, go in that direction in different ways and in our own unique way. So there is no fixed definition. The only thing is that when you feel better, these entities cannot reach you because they thrive on lower strength condition. Though, as you're saying, lower strength magnetic field. So as you raise your field strength, and you can create your own repulsion effects at that range, and nothing can touch you. I mean, I'll give you a very physical example. We all know of martial arts. These people, very skinny people in China, they are, they can generate a lot of power with very short moves. They're essentially using a higher field strength of emotion channeled to a physical level for physical defense. And they train for it and they get good at it. Now imagine raising your field strength even further. All of these kind of attack, dream attack or psychic attack, whatever they may be termed, can be easily neutralized. This is something, we can all do it very easily by being cheerful, happy, doing things that creative things. Creative thing is one way of raising one's field strength because you are not diminishing, but you are unifying. So it is another way of raising your magnetic gravitational field strength, going into higher emotional field. And this is the way you move beyond the reach of these entities which work with lower field strength. And they cannot operate at higher field strength because they're always diminishing. They themselves are not that very, very high field strength. And much of what we hear in news or Hollywood and whatever else is an attempt to lower our field strength through primitive emotional instincts, which are natural, which are actually useful and natural part of our being. But if we further add this higher field strength, then those cannot be reached. I hope I made some sense.
No, that's I mean, that's more than I could have asked for, really. I still sort of worry sometimes because just for the future of the world and the universe and the ethereal realm, because I feel like, I mean, I hate to say it, but it is true because there is a lot of sort of Eastern Asian places that, because of maybe their eyes, they can't seem to see the truth. And it really does worry me because I'm worried that if the world continues in this way and these Eastern Asians, these Orientals don't open up, I feel like there's going to be an issue, right, with clashing opinions. And
I wouldn't worry too much about the future, Sam, because all of that's happening right now as we speak. I mean, you worry about spiritual influences. What have the religions done for the last millennia or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5? They have controlled people, and that's part of what they do. But it's up to us to recognize those controlling factors in our conditioning and in our conditions around us, and to take action and to elevate ourselves. We don't have to worry about others. When we elevate ourselves, we have a saying, in order to elevate others and to help them, you have to elevate yourself first. So this is going back to what Mashfaq also mentioned about if we can get ourselves into a position where we are of a higher emotional strength, then all those other adversaries and entities and all of this stuff from the dream state and so on will just fall away. Because if you really recognize who you really are as a soul and the power that that has when you're close to the source, all of those other things just simply fall away or become a part of the game to play with. You know, you can interact with them in different ways because you are of a different field strength that has a degree of control, or at least indifference or impartiality or detachment from that realm. So we learn detachment is part of what we learn in this teaching, and to simply detach from those parts of the physicality that might interrupt or become into our thoughts and that kind of thing. And part of the whole teaching is to have good thoughts and good actions and good words. And if you are conscious and pay attention to those things and actually create your own thoughts rather than being subject to thoughts, and create your own emotion rather than being subject to emotion, and create the actions that you wish to create and not be subject to the actions of others that force you to move in certain ways, then that's really the key to being above all that and not having that influence your life, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely, I try my best not to let it influence my life. But it is hard, you know, especially when you sort of take into the consideration the universe and the sort of metaphysical imbalance of
planet Earth is really hard. It is hard.
It is made of rocks.
Many people, yeah, that's true too. But it's just a tough place to be. This is like military training ground for souls, basically.
Yeah, absolutely.
So this is where you get to have the test, and part of the test is dealing with these entities and whatnot that might be impinging on our consciousness. So, like, for example, when I was in my earlier time with the Keshe Foundation, I had a heck of a time with the trolls that would be accosting us and putting comments in and just generally harassing the Keshe Foundation. And I was sort of in a position where I was in the middle of these trolls because I was responsible for the social media. So I felt responsible to deal with these trolls and to argue with them and to rationalize with them and try to defer them and all the different tricks that you use to try to deal with trolls. And eventually I talked to Mr. Keshe and told him I have, all this trouble with the trolls and I have to deal with it and so on. And he gave me 2 words that changed my whole attitude and my whole life regarding this issue. And the 2 words were, ignore them. I thought, well, that's too simplistic. How can I ignore them? They're right in my brain, they're in my life. I'm always dealing with them and they're always in my face. But that was the magic 2 words, just simply ignore them. And I started following that, and now I have zero trouble with trolls. Occasionally they pop up and, I might delete or ban someone occasionally or whatever, but it's been virtually no problem since I actually adopted that attitude. Simply ignore them. Detach from that situation. You just simply detach, and that's it. And I haven't looked back, basically.
Amazing. I think that's a great place to start for me, especially. Yeah, I know what you mean. I get a lot of people who don't believe in what I do. And I think the natural response is to retaliate, right? But, sometimes, they say horrible things. You just think to yourself, Mamma mia, they're saying some crazy things. I don't want to hear that. And yeah, the best way to get about that is to ignore them. I mean, if they can't understand why we're, shifting the natural perception of our lives, I don't see why they should be evolved at all. It's their loss. As much as I would love for them to come along and understand the journey that we're going on, it's it's hard to get them all on board, especially with our good philosopher Candice. He's so great at sort of talking about the way it should be, and how the realms should truly match with each other, and how the dream realm really isn't just it isn't just the place you go when you sleep. It is the next level it's the next part of human existence. And we cross over to the nether, we cross over to the end world, we cross over to these amazing places with amazing resources helping us progress further in life, allowing us to enchant ourselves, allowing us to complete this game we call life. It's a real blocky experience, and I think it's interesting to sort of think about in that sort of sense.
Well, definitely. There's some Aboriginal groups that consider the dream state is reality, and what we consider reality, or ordinary waking state, is what they call the illusion. And there's some sense to that. So the dream world is the real world, and what we think of as the real world is an illusion. So perhaps we have things switched around as far as our priorities go, in a way.
Go
ahead.
Yeah, thank you. Of course. I think, the realms are as they are, and one day I hope to see you in the Chungus realm, and I hope that you have a blessed day. I'm gonna go drop a fat load of magrav, and
okay. Is it your same name with Joe has a hand up too? Is that you as well, or is that your brother or something who just happens to have the same last name?
Well, why? Oh, I don't know.
Oh, it just went down. There was a Joe with the same last name as you that had a hand up. Oh, there it is. I'll allow you to talk, Joe. Could you go ahead?
I do have quite a common last name.
Hello, can you hear me?
I can't believe that. Yes, go ahead. I thought it was the same person and they had two identities here.
Wow. Bless you, sir.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Both have the same Kennard last name. Or
wait, really?
whatever.
There's another Kennard?
Yeah, they both had a hand up, and you're both new here. I haven't seen either of you here before.
It must be the reincarnation realm.
And you don't know each other.
This is not a canard.
Well, it's one of those coincidence days, because if you look at the date today, it's Tuesday. It's May 17th, which is 0517. You add 05 and 17, you get 22.
Yeah,
This is
of
the
course.
222nd 222
Wow.
workshop on 222022.
Oh
So it's
my God.
222222022. How's that for? Now we have two canards here, Joe and
Wow.
Sam. So go ahead, Joe. What do you have to say?
Wow, that's wild. I can't believe that. I just wanted to share it. I'm actually 22 years old today, so I don't know why. I don't
What?
know.
No way.
Yeah,
No way. You're kidding.
I'm not
You're
kidding.
22 today.
I'm 22 today.
Oh my God.
Okay. I I just remembered it's a little later this evening, but it's actually my 22nd anniversary with my husband.
No, I mean that can't be real, surely.
Okay. Well, here we are anyway. Go ahead, Joe.
Yeah, thanks. Sorry, I'm Joe. Actually, I studied some astrophysics, so I'm really interested in what you guys have been doing. Yeah, like you said, I'm quite new here. I think a lot of what Sam actually said covered a lot of what I was gonna ask. I did want to know about your what was it? The moon? Was it the moon landing? No, the moon launch, or your launch on June the 6th. Is that right?
That's supposed to be the first flight testing is on the June 6th date, and then sometime in this year will be the moon launch as such. That's
Okay.
according to Mr. Keshe, and testing is still going on, and they're trying to get things ready. I'm not sure. I don't think there's going to be an actual broadcast of the event as such. It's just a milestone of the testing that's been ongoing. So
I see.
and most of that is sort of in secret, basically, to keep the prying eyes of the public away at this time, actually. But yeah, go ahead.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I mean, I wanted to know a bit more about that. As, yeah, like coming from a astrophysics background, I really was sort of interested in this new technology. I understand why you might want to keep it away from prying eyes, but I feel like with such incredible technology, it might be
Are you
something
more
worth sharing.
interested? Are you more interested in the physicality side of the spaceship flight, or the spiritual and soul side of these? In other words, do you want to go to space with a spaceship or without a spaceship?
Well, I mean, obviously the spiritual side and the nether realms, dream states were all really what drew me in. I mean, I came to this. Yeah, I mean, I came to this sort of session. I did dream of something about this, and so I came today. I finally decided to come, and I did feel it was. I don't want my physicality to get in the way of anything that's gonna happen here. But I was curious as to how I could witness, or at least witness someone else, perform. Well, I mean, they wouldn't be miracles, but extreme scientific achievements in some of these upcoming test flights.
Yes, exactly. Go ahead, Mashak. Yeah.
There are a lot of similarities between flight without spaceship and with a spaceship. The principles are very similar. And so you essentially create fields using a reactor system. For example, you can do MAGRAPH too, but you create a reactor system to do the space flight. The fields that you can create that with your interaction of the soul, the fields within the soul. similarly. And in fact, you can use parts of your physical structure as well to create what we call the star formation. So you can go either way. The principles are same. The understanding, I mean, if you understand one, you understand the other one. You know, the one with the soul travel, I mean, soul-based, it's a little more advanced because you have to deal with, you know, there is the manifestation, and you have to convert the physical existent into energy, and then back from energy to physical manifestation wherever you're going. So generally, this is a safer form of flight than having a spaceship. But we won't go into all the details, but there are a lot of similarities, and this is, I mean, so if you are in, you can come from either end, so to speak. Okay, go ahead, Rick.
And if I could add just for a minute, whether we go to the moon on June 6th or not is not the important part, Mr. Keshe said. He's introducing a new method, a new concept, and a new dimension in flight. And he says he's flown these systems across the universe, and they do work.
Oh, okay. Yeah, wow. That's incredible. I'm really glad to hear that from Mr. Keshe himself. Yeah, thanks for your time. I'm intrigued for the future.
Yeah, I think the beauty of this teaching is that we have the choice. As we right now as humans have the choice of transporting our physicality in many different ways. We can go by car, truck, that kind of thing, a taxi, train, planes, automobiles, and submarines, and all kinds of different ways. Or we can go by a donkey, or we can just go by our own feet. Or we can have a choice of even traveling in different ways by lying down and entering the dream state, or the subconscious, or astral traveling, and all of these other various ways of moving without the physicality as well. So the beauty with this teaching is it's up to us to choose whether we wish to go with the physicality, in which case we might want to be working on reactor designs that create the fields, as Mashfaq mentioned, that form the protective and propulsive fields around the craft in order to travel in space or on planet Earth, and work with that technology and that level of science to achieve such goals, which some groups are doing. Others might want to be working as the Mojans were talking about earlier, in the Mojan type program of you might work with others as a group to form a virtual spaceship, you could say, and use your soul to travel with, rather than the physicality. So you might choose to do both. Maybe you've got a foot in both worlds, and you'd like to experience the joys of the physicality, and at the same time experience the understanding of the higher dimensions and higher levels. So this is kind of the beauty I see of this teaching. It includes all of those levels and way more besides that we haven't even conceived of yet. And it's more or less all inclusive, which to me has always been one of the biggest features is this idea that there is no limitation to the knowledge, and our ability to access that knowledge. There's really no limitation. I remember when Mr. Keshe, when we were working with the original design as shown in his patent application of over a decade ago, that when we were working with reactors at that time, it was important to know things about the reactors, and we wanted all the information, all the details, so we could make our reactor correct. But he said there's as many types of reactors as there are stars in the universe. And I just kind of got blown away at that idea that there'd be so many different types of reactors, not just reactors. So to create a reactor that alters gravity, for example, there might be many, many, many types of reactors that can actually do that. And so, this is kind of mind-blowing that there could be such variety out there in the universe, and yet we're still stuck on the very basic levels as humans. So it's very encouraging that way, and it leaves it open to your interests. Are you more interested in the spiritual side, in the soul-based side, or are you more interested in the physicality side and perhaps still recognize the soul side, but the attraction or the preference is to work on the physicality side, maybe for the benefit of other physicalities on planet Earth and all beings everywhere, in fact. Maybe the beings out in space that are out there now, maybe they need a spaceship too, and maybe you're the one that can create it for them to satisfy that urge they have to travel across the universe in a spaceship this time instead of their soul or their spirit.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a great point. I mean, yeah, I think both of the, you mentioned a lot about the which side do you want to go towards? That soul searching side, or the more the physicality that draws me, and I'm definitely drawn by the physicality, as it's because of my studies, and but I think what really drew me into here was that soul searching aspect, and especially a lot of the things that the Keshe, Mr. Keshe said himself, and the reactor. I mean, the thing is that all about this is, all of us here, we're no strangers to love, and the rules. So do I. I think we're really full commitment is what I'm thinking of, and I just you wouldn't really get it from any other guy, So I just I just wanted to tell you how I'm feeling and sort of make you understand that I'm really not gonna give this up. So it's very nice to hear from you all.
I would like to, for you, since you have astrophysics background.
Yes.
So Rick was mentioning about some of the reactors. So earlier reactors were, gas reactors. Actually, you can use gas, layers of gas to create essentially the same effect. And this is related to the patent application he was mentioning. So if you go to these patent applications, although they were not made patent, but if you go through it in detail, you will understand how entities like planets and stars are formed. It's very unlike what has been talked about in our primitive science that we hear on this planet right now. So it's actually quite intriguing, and you can actually, for example, go to, take the reactor design and map it in, think about Earth's formation. You can actually go into the currents of how the water currents form the magnetic field flow of the Earth and how the wind forms. All of these can be all worked out from this pattern. I actually have done it, so I know really it can be done. You can actually see
yeah,
the current
that
flow,
proves
the
it then, yeah.
spirals of the current flow in various directions. You can work out the detail of wind and water flow across the planet. It's actually very fascinating to, if you're interested of planetary dynamics, you can work out. We don't know the internals of the planet, of course, we don't have the information, but I'm sure shortly we'll come across it, and we can work it out even to even further detail of how the plates and inside of the planet happens. But if you look at the pattern, you will see how from hydrogen in space, something like a planet can come into existence. Things like that. It's very fascinating. So
definitely recommend the patent, especially if you're into astrophysics and that kind of thing. And it's a long one. It's over 100 pages. It's the longest patent ever. I put the link into the chat there, so you can click on that's the main patent. There's another patent as well that Keshe has, but that one gives the main ideas and reinforces the main ideas in several different ways by explaining both the way the reactor works and the way the universe works sort of at the same time, because the reactor works according to the way the universe works and the way things fuse together and the conditions of space and in the reactor, and all that stuff is laid out in intimate and excruciating for some detail. But for me, every time I read the patent, I get something new out of it, and it's just amazing, actually, the amount of information that's jammed in there. So, highly recommended.
Yeah, that sounds great. Yeah, I mean, if you've, everyone's read over it, that's pretty rock solid. I see the link in, I see the link for the Google patent. So,
yeah,
have a look.
Okay, let me get back to our let's get back to our show here. I guess we're done the Mojan part now.
Yes, but my dear Rick, thank you so much for your wisdom, for your truthfulness. Thank you, Moshfit. Thank you, dear Azar. Thank you, Mark, my dear Mark. Thank you, dear Joe. And thank you, Paul, as you are both the same name, but this is not a coincidence, my dear.
I know.
If we are living, we are dreaming too. So life and living is the most important thing. Then the universe exists always. This is the soulful way. So thank you for your questions, my dear. Thank you so much. Welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome. Thank you. This is already done, my dear Rick. I think bring the needs and wishes from your community to the Universal Council as one planet, one race, one nation for justice and world peace. If there is any wish anybody wants to take on behalf of all, please do, or any question anymore, or anything of love want to share, anything of guidance want to share, anything, please do. Welcome, if there is any.
Well, there's one more coincidence in the YouTube, which I'll mention, which is a fellow by the name of Koch, who originally mentioned the date coincidence, which I was already aware of, but he brought it up in the YouTube. He also mentions his birthday is 10/12/1957, which works out to 2222 when you add those numbers together. So we definitely have a 22 day here with all the 22s together, and that was a nice coincidence. Okay, we have Salamia as well with a hand up here. Go ahead, Salamia.
Hello, is Peace here. My name is Peace. So I would like to again to be aware of our role as knowledge seekers and as a universal council at the soul level, to spread right now the fields of understanding between nations, field of understanding between leaders, all kinds of leaders of this world, and the fields of love, harmony, and unity. Only a federal state, international state, will bring us a peace, long-term peace, at least 100,000 years. It's a long process, but step by step, we will build it at the level of our soul, because outside of space and time, as you know, and everybody stated, everything is one, is totality. Space and time is a construct of our reality, maybe of our mind. But the true universe, unicos, is only one entity, and is not a difference between present, past, and future. And we communicate in this way instantly, and we transport ourselves instantly, anytime. So we are part of totality, and right now we communicate with everything from the unicos at emotional level, because at emotional level, at the soul level, we are all correlated and connected. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Salomia. Thank you.
Okay, I don't see any other particular needs and wishes here.
Then we can move to the next slide, Marjorie, if there is no. Okay, this is the contact email addresses of the Universal Council active, and anyone from anywhere can contact to the Universal Council, as we are all universal souls. So give your advice, sharing, love, care, anything, my dear ones, anything you can share. We are here to share. So we can go to the next slide, my dear. Please. Here is the world of a spiritual and soulful being. As we are becoming. We are here to serve, not to be served. The Universal Council. Thank you so much. So here's the word, my dear, become humble, to be in the path, to be as how to be in the universe, around you, within you. So, salam, namaste, salute, welcome to the foundation, my dear. Thank you. So, thank you so much.
Sorry, didn't hear your last words there, Sweta.
Now you can hear me?
Yes.
Okay, I will read it again. These are the words of a humble being in the services of all, in the benefit of all. This is the way we enhance and elevate our soul from within and other souls, as we are here to serve, not to be served, the universal council. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, beautiful souls, for being here with the responsibilities of all, taking the responsibilities of all in the culture of love. Thank you so much. Salam, namaste, salute. Welcome. Welcome to the Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute. Thank you so much.
If all the leaders will understand that they are here to serve others, will be peace. And all leaders will share hands for collaboration, cooperation, and not for conflict and struggle for power and control. You are right, Sveta. Thank you very much, Sveta.
Oh, thank you, my dear. Thank you, Salome.
Okay, I believe that wraps up today's 222nd 222 One Nation, One Planet, One Race for World Peace and Justice here on Tuesday, May 17th, 2022. And thank you everybody for attending today. Thank you to the Universal Council for presenting today's workshop. And thank you, Mark, for co-hosting, and thanks to everyone for their questions and coincidences today. Let me see, we have the Keshe Plasma Reactor group coming up tomorrow starting at 7 a.m. Central European Time. That's Wednesday, May 18th, and people are welcome to bring their questions, concepts, and inventions and various iterations of the plasma technology into that workshop where we can address and discuss various aspects. Whether you're a newbie or an old timer, then you're welcome either way into that group. Okay, and I think there's the TV Galactica as well, which should be tonight, I think, at 11 p.m. Central European Time.
11:59. I always,
Is it?
Yeah, I always go there at 5, and then it says you've got another 45 or 58 to start.
I thought they changed that to a round number like 11. Because 12 is confusing, so they left it at 11:59. Okay, very good.
Sure about that. Yes.
At the mark between the moment before midnight, you might say. All right, so people can take that in if they wish. TV Galactica, both on the YouTube and Facebook sites where you can access TV Galactica is one name, I think. All right, that's with Marie from the Universal Council. Okay, I think that wraps it up, and we'll go out with, as usual, the Flight Enhancement Spaceship Unit.
And the old friends. Thank you.
I could hear you coming in there, Sweta. Right on, thank you. You're right on time. All right, bye everyone, and see you in the next public teaching workshop.